Good morning and welcome to today's mobility session. This is, per usual, 20 to 30 minutes of gentle movement and mobility designed for seniors, but open to anyone who wants to move their body this morning or whenever you tune into this video. We'll go ahead and get started with our first exercise. You don't need anything for this session, just your body weight, some space to move, maybe a yoga mat or comfortable floor spot to lay down on later. But for starters, we're going to do a standing windmill rotation. I'm going to turn to the side and have my feet together, and then start with my hands straight out in front of me. Take this hand and have your palm face forward, and then you're going to go around all the way, looking at your hand with your eyeballs, and come back to the start. Flip that palm. Keep it facing away from you as you go around. And then it can turn towards you at the bottom. Really following the fingertips with your eyes. That helps you open up your chest and shoulders as you get to the other side. Coming around. Nice controlled movement, not going for speed. Going around all the way full circle. And one more time, following that hand. Back, down, and back to the start. Very nice. And then we'll move and do the other side. So face the other direction. Place your hands straight out in front of you. Turn that palm to face forward. And then going up, following your fingertips with your eyeballs, going around and down. You can think a little bit about pulling your shoulder blades together, especially as your arm starts to get back on this other side. Really just going for a nice smooth movement, noticing in any places that feel a little bit sticky. Just try to work through them and feel free to let your arm move forward a little bit as needed. And as you warm up, you might find that you can loosen up a few of those spots. Last one, fingertips reaching up, back, and around, and then rest. Very good. All right, our second one is going to be a little neck mobility with some ear to shoulder movements. So just stand with your feet together or an inch or two apart, and we're going to bring your ear towards your shoulder, pausing for just a moment before you come back up, and then go to the other side. We're lingering here for just a moment. Come back up, ear drops to the shoulder, back up, not rushing it, about a 1 Mississippi on each side when you're in that lengthened position, just as far as feels comfortable in your neck today. Neck mobility is so important, one of those spots that we can sometimes forget about, and then when we remember to do it, it really feels so good to work on maneuvering the neck. We'll do one more each side, ear to shoulder, pause, back up, and last one, ear to shoulder, short pause, and back to the top. Very good. And then our last one is going to be a overhead march in place. So going to get a little shoulder mobility, a little bit of hip and core action on this one as well. I'm going to have my palms facing forward as I reach my arms up, really trying to reach for the ceiling. And then with my core, I'm going to try to just tuck that rib cage down to make sure I'm not arching at the lower back. And then I'm going to just lift up one knee, back down, keeping everything tall, other side, and back down. I'm not going fast, but I'm lifting that knee up almost as high as you can. If you can get it to 90 degrees at the hip, that's fantastic. Back down, one side lift, take your time. Back down, you should feel a little bit of tightness in your core. There's a way to do this super loosey-goosey and a way to do it where we have a little bit of active engagement by pushing that rib cage down. Very good. One more on each side. You reach those arms, might start to feel the shoulders. And last one, lift and lower back down. Very good. All right, then as always, we'll repeat each circuit for 2 times. So we'll go back to that first exercise, the standing windmill rotation. Turn to face the side. Put your hands straight out in front of you, flip one palm forward, and then follow those fingertips with your eyes all the way around and down. Nice, smooth, controlled movement. Sometimes on these rotations or circles, there's a tendency to go a little bit faster than is ideal. So slow yourself down. Really take your time going through that motion, letting the shoulder open up, letting that shoulder blade move as you turn to the side and back. And we've got one more on this side. Reaching up, back, and down. Very good. Then turn and face the other side, starting with those hands straight out. Flip one palm forward, and then follow those fingertips as you reach up and back. Really thinking about pulling that shoulder blade back and then away from your shoulder, pulling that down, following the hands with your finger or with your eyeballs, reaching up, really taking your time. And one more for this side, all the way opening up and finishing back at the start. Very good. All right, second one, back to that neck mobility with our ear to shoulder and that little pause. So bring your ear towards your shoulder and come back up. Other side, ear to shoulder and back up. Really think about lengthening your opposite trap, then that side of the neck as you stretch over and back up. You can even think about pulling the opposite shoulder away from you. Lengthening one side, little pause, and then the other. Good. Side, noticing any differences you might have from one side to the other, totally normal. And last one, ear to shoulder, and back to the top. Very good. All right, and then our third one is that overhead knee lift. So arms, palms facing forward, straight up, little bit of tightness in the core. And then when you're ready, just lifting a knee up, placing it back down, other side, lift, and down. Making sure that foot is directly underneath the knee when you lift, not tucked in towards you. 90-degree angles if possible at both the hip and the knee as you lift. Arms reach tall, raise that knee up. Really taking your time, not rushing through this one. Gets us a little bit of stabilization with our overhead mobility here. And we'll do one more on each side. Lift that knee, reach the arms. Last one, lift and lower. Very good. All right, we're on to our second circuit, which is going to be down on the floor. So find a nice, comfortable place and make your way down there. We're going to start lying on your back. So find your way just resting with your knees bent. Make sure you have a comfortable position for your head. You can rest it on a pillow if you need it a little bit elevated. Give you a moment to get down here, and then I'm going to start with my arms in a field goal position. If for this position you need to have your arms off the floor, that's totally okay, but let your arms kind of flop as far down as they can. And then keeping your hands as close to the floor as you can, you're going to reach up. Quite all right if your hands need to lift off of the floor a little bit as you reach, and then go back to that field goal. Reaching up, nice and slow, trying to straighten that elbow, and coming back down. Reaching up, and pull back down. We've got 2 more, straightening those arms, keeping the arms as close to the floor as is comfortably uncomfortable. Last one, reach and rest. Very good. All right, for our second exercise, we're gonna flip onto your side for a sideline leg lift. Support yourself on your elbow right underneath your shoulder if that feels comfortable, or if you need to lay down on the side and tuck your arm, you can. But if it feels good, be here with legs mostly straight, and then have your top leg with your toe touching the ground just behind the heel of your other leg. And then you're going to lift up as high as you can and back down. And we're lifting up as high as we can without moving any of the rest of our body to make that happen. So we don't want to be shifting anything else. If your leg gets here, that's totally okay. Lifting that leg, lowering with control. This is a little abduction for the hip. Also a little bit of core stability, just holding this position here. We've got 1 more for this side, and then we'll switch sides. You can roll or flip over, find yourself on that other elbow, legs mostly straight, nice strong core position. Top leg, your toe is just behind your other heel, and when you're ready, lift and lower back down, keeping that leg mostly straight-ish as you raise. Lifting and back down, very good. Take your time, back down. And this one may feel like strength for some of us that could use a little bit of work on our abductors. So just breathe through it, exhaling as you lift and lower. We've got 1 more, lift and lower, very good. All right, then our last one, we're gonna go into a hands and knees position. So grab a little extra cushion under your knees by folding up a mat or placing a pillow if you need to. My hands are right underneath my shoulders and knees are right underneath my hips. And then I'm just looking straight at the floor. With our back, we want to find a neutral position. So not rounded, not arched, but right in the middle. And then we're gonna lift up our opposite leg and arm, reaching, coming back down, switch sides, lift, and come back down. Taking your time, make sure to keep that neutral spine. Try to monitor if you have that temptation to switch into an arch. Lower back down. Reaching long with the arm and the toe. Back down. Keep breathing. And lower down. 1 more for each side. Lift, lengthen. Back down. Last one. Lift, reach. And back down. Very good. All right, your reward is we're gonna go back to our laying down on your back position to do our second round of this floor circuit. So I'll give you a moment to get there. Take a nice breath, inhale and exhale. And then slowly find your arms in that field goal post position. Seeing how close you can get your hands and elbows to resting on the floor, and then when you're ready, start reaching the hands up overhead, straightening the elbows and pulling them back down. I'm really thinking about the shoulder blades guiding this movement, locking out those elbows at the top if you can, and pull back down. This is a great one for posture, overhead mobility, shoulder joint mobility. And it's one that, especially if your arms are not quite on the floor just yet, it's one that you can see your progress as you notice that your arms can stay closer or eventually even get to resting on the floor. And pull back down. We've got 1 more of these. Make it good. Reach up, elbows straight, and pull back down. Very good. And then we're back in that side position for our side lying leg lift, round 2. Find yourself propped up on your elbow or laying down on your side, legs straightish, top leg just behind your bottom leg with your toe behind your heel. And then when you're ready, lift and lower with control. Core stays strong. The rest of your body doesn't move or jerk to help your leg get extra lift. Just ending at that natural spot where your range of motion feels like it comes to an end. Maybe exhaling as you lift. Inhale down. Very good. We've got one more. Lift and lower. Perfect. Switching on to your other side. A good chance to notice if it feels at all different from one side to the other. That toe behind your heel. And when you're ready, lifting up and back down. And so differences from side to side aren't a bad thing. No one is perfectly symmetrical by design. Our bodies are not symmetrical on the insides. So what's just good to notice is that if one side feels like it needs a little bit of extra attention, you could always make sure to really focus on that side. Add an extra couple of reps. You don't want to go crazy with that, but you can give it just a little bit more attention if you notice that one side lacks mobility at a certain joint. Very good. One more lift and lower down. Very good. All right, then going into our last one on this floor circuit, our bird dog reaches. Finding that neutral spine in our hands and knees position. And then when you're ready, we're going to lift opposite arm and leg, reach long and come back down. Lift the other side, reach and come back down. Really taking your time. A lot of these exercises today have some additional core stability worked in there. Nice little bonus for us. But on this one, we're working a little bit of that shoulder with the reaching and hip by extending the leg, especially if you think about lengthening and reaching as you lift. Last one on each side. Back down. Last one. And rest. Very good. All right, make your way back up to standing for our last circuit. And we're going to go back to some hip mobility with a sumo deadlift. So I'll show you this one from the side. I'm going to take a wide stance, a little bit wider than my yoga mat. This depends on your hips. If you need to have a narrower stance, feel free. But if you can, stand with your feet just outside of your yoga mat with your toes turned slightly out. That's wonderful. And then hands on your hips. I'm going to unlock my knees and then hinge my hips backward as I tip my torso over, stretching into the hamstrings and coming back up. Make sure that you don't let the shoulders get any lower than the hips. I'm stopping about here and then pushing my hips forward, working that hinge position. Knees are unlocked and they gradually bend a little bit more as the hips move back. Nice tall hip extension at the top. Hips are reaching back, torso's bending over. That's what makes this different than a sumo squat. We'll do one more. Knees unlock, hips reach back. And then push the hips forward to come back to the top. Very good. Okay, then our second one is going to be a standing halo. This is for our shoulder and upper back mobility. So start with your hands interlocked, or if you need this to be easier, you can have just your fingertips overlapping. But I'm going to take my hands, lift this elbow as my hands graze my ear, the back of my head, and the other side of my head. Finish here, and then reverse, graze one side of your head, the back of your head, and back down. This is mirrored after an activity done with a dumbbell or kettlebell. So you have the option to do this weighted as a part of a strength training workout, but for mobility, you can feel how we're really working those shoulder blades through quite a few different positions as we move our hands. The key is keeping them close to your head. If you mess up your hair or your ponytail, that's usually a good sign that you're keeping the hands nice and close. Find your way back down, and we'll finish it by returning to the start on the other side. And rest, very good. And last one, a bit of a reward is gonna be a hands clasped behind the back with a lift. So just interlock your fingers behind you. Now for some of you, this may be a bit of a shoulder stretch, just stay here. For others, if you want to start to straighten your arms and lift, feel free. Just raising up a little bit and reaching your hands away from you. Really opening up the chest and shoulders. We're just holding this position, letting those arms lift up behind you a little bit. Reaching your knuckles away from you. And then release. Very good. All right, we'll repeat these 3 exercises one more time to finish out our mobility workout today. So we're going back to that sumo deadlift. I'll show you the first reps from the front with this one. So again, my feet are wider than shoulder width if possible. Hands are on the hips. And then I'm unlocking the knees as I hinge my hips back, torso bends down. Feel that hamstring stretch, and then push the hips back to standing. Unlock, reach back. Taking your time, not rushing through this movement. I'll go back to showing you from the side. Unlock the knees, hinge the hips backward. Back stays nice and flat. Come back up. Hands on hips is a nice reminder to break at that hip crease, send the hips back. And send them forward. We've got 2 more. Reaching the hips, feeling a little bit of hamstring stretch. And nice tall hip extension at the top. One more time. Really letting those hips move backwards. And rest. Very good. Okay, then that second one is back to our standing halo with those fingers interlocked. Feet just together or an inch or 2 apart. And then when you're ready, lift that elbow so your hands can graze one side of your head, the back, and the other side. Let them come down. And then reverse, grazing that side and back down. Taking your time, let that arm lift up. Like you're just passing a circle around your head. Make sure to breathe. Try not to move too much of the torso and the hip on this one, or to move your head out of the way. It's really the hands and shoulders that are responsible for that movement. Good. Last one for each direction. And last one, coming back to the start. And rest. Very good. All right, and last one, that hands clasped behind the back stretch. Just let your arms interlock here. If that's enough, just by opening your shoulders, great. But if you can, straighten out those elbows and start to lift the arms. And think about reaching your knuckles that direction, away from you, pulling them down, maybe lifting up a teeny bit further. Again, no pressure to lift. You can just stay there. If that feels good, let the chest open. Really nice for the shoulders to practice pulling together in this position. Lift if that's your level. And take 1 breath in and exhale. And then rest completely. Well done. That is your full mobility session of the day. I hope that you feel loosened up and ready to tackle whatever is next for you, whether it's some cardio or strength or just diving into your day. If you want more information from me, feel free to go over to the Hello Strength Seniors Instagram. There's also ways to support these videos and find more information. I'll see you next Tuesday for more morning mobility.